I think that is the hard part of us being like, remember to start recording because we just jump in and we're automatically having
Yes.
this
Yes.
conversation. Okay,
Yes.
so welcome back to Therapist versus Life Coach. Hi, I'm Megan Gillman. I'm a life coach.
Hi, I'm
And,
Danielle Pereda, and I'm a therapist.
and today I just learned from Danielle that, um, surprise, so if you're listening, um, I want you to take a guess which gender is more emotionally intelligent, men or women. And just take a moment, whichever one comes to the top of your head. Let us know in the comments. But I just had my mind blown because I 100% guessed that women were more emotionally intelligent than
I also thought that.
men. And it turns out
But
that is not true.
yeah, it turns out that men and women, both score similarly in EQ, which is emotional intelligence. Um, so
So,
that is very interesting.
yeah. So, Danny, why don't can you tell me a little bit about this article and just give me a summary because I haven't read it myself yet.
So basically, they had like self-reporting, and then they also had um, a test that they gave each person um, based on their emotional sensitivity for different circumstances. And through the self-reporting and also um, the assessments and tests they gave them, they prove, well, not prove, but they did find that the majority of men and women both were scoring similarly.
Okay,
So,
so on all these measures, self-reported measures and kind of experimental measures
hmm
of emotional intelligence, that we're not able to find a significant difference between men and
exactly. Yeah. And they also used like facial expressions too, and like how people like physically react to things because that's something else that I had researched for today is because there's six, some people say seven basic emotions that we can physically express. But within those, and I don't know if you have access to the feelings wheel um, to share, but
women. Maybe.
up to 27, possibly more emotions that humans have a range of feeling, which is so interesting.
27 emotions. So yeah, the feelings wheel. I had for a while this feelings wheel on my fridge. And let me tell you why I was like, no, obviously women are more emotionally intelligent than men.
Yeah, I want to hear
Because
what you think for sure.
because I put this exact wheel on my fridge for
hmm
over a year. For like because my husband and I were in counseling for a bit. I think I shared about that last time. And
Yes.
one of the best things we've ever done. But we started having more conversations about how we're feeling, and I would ask him like,
hmm
he'd rant to me about something that happened at work, and I'd say, okay, how do you feel about that? And he'd be like, angry, and I'm like, or no, let me dial it back. But he I'll okay, not dial it back, but he would say like, yeah, I'm like angry or I'm frustrated. Those were the only two emotions I ever got him to say: angry, frustrated. And so I got so fed up with it that I printed out this feelings wheel and I put it on the fridge. I'm like, look at all the feelings that there are. How are you only
hmm
ever feeling angry and frustrated about work, or like happy? That's all he had, like happy, angry. And
Yeah.
and so I put this up because I was like, let's look at it. Let's take a look and say like, okay, you're feeling angry, so like what kind of angry, what flavor of angry? um
hmm
because there's so much
Did you say flavor
going
of angry?
on. Yeah, what flavor of angry are you? Because
I
that's how I
love
think of the
that.
feelings wheel. If you're listening to this and not watching this, I don't know how you're doing that because I haven't actually set it up to host in an audio only platform yet. But um, if you're in the future listening back to this, we've got the feelings wheel up. You can Google feelings wheel and you will find the same
Mm-hmm.
image. But the way I think of it, you have like the seven feelings in the middle, and then it breaks them down into all these little. So angry breaks down into let down, humiliated, bitter, mad, aggressive, frustrated, distant, and critical. And then those all break down even further, like let down, you could be betrayed or resentful. So I think of it as
Yeah.
like angry is the base, and then like there's different flavors of angry, and
Mm-hmm.
then there's
I
different
love the
like toppings,
flavors. Yes. Ah,
you
that's such a
know?
great description.
And then maybe you can have a side of something else. So like you may be
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm bitter angry with a side of feeling really confused
Mm-hmm.
because my I'm very comfortable talking about my feelings, and yeah, I guess that's I was assuming that since I'm very comfortable talking about feelings, emotions, and my husband seemed to only know about like two feelings. I mean, I guess he knew about
Yeah.
other feelings. Like he knows what surprise is and he knows what
Mm-hmm.
sad
He's
is.
aware of them.
He's aware that they exist. He could probably clock it if my face was showing it. But
Mm-hmm.
in terms of what he would tell me he was feeling, I was never hearing him say anything else. But like frustrated. Frustrated was his most common one, I think, because it doesn't have as bad of a connotation as angry. We're not like
Yeah.
allowed to feel angry a lot.
Yeah, which not being able to feel angry is also a sad thing. And I also wanted to say, like, angry is more of a secondary emotion. It in the wheel, it does show that it is like it's one of the ones that you can visually see. But
Mm,
when someone's angry, there's always something underneath. So that's why they always say it's a secondary emotion. So whenever I have a client that's like, I'm angry about this, I'm like, well, what else is going on? Like, and they usually are able to figure out some other thing to describe how they're feeling, and they're showing it through anger, through fighting, etc. Um, yeah. So, but I really like that you and your husband have been able to talk about all of that.
yeah. Well, my husband has, I don't know if you would say it's like an upside or a downside, but like he's married to a life coach who's also
Yeah.
a cancer. I have like cancer in my chart like three or four times. Um,
Wow.
so feelings are like a big deal for me. I am
Mm-hmm.
in my feelings all the time. And so I it was really disconnecting for me to ask like, okay, like how do you feel about that? And he'd either say like, oh, I'm angry, or worse, he'd be like, oh, like, well, and I'm like, nope. I can imagine how I might feel if something
Yeah.
similar happened to me, but I do not know how you feel because
Mm-hmm.
you didn't tell me a feeling, you just told me a situation. And
Yeah.
I think that's the other thing. And that's what I am learning more and more and more
Mm-hmm.
is that, yeah, we're not emotionally intelligent people by and large.
Mm-hmm.
Because even right now, when I work with clients and I ask them, like, okay, so I, I use thought work a lot. The I use the thought model that a life coach named Brooke Castillo popularized, and I used the work by Katie Byron. And those are just two models that I tend to use with clients on to help them kind of shift their default thoughts and their like intrusive thoughts
Mm-hmm.
and recurring patterns. And part of those models is to ask like, well, how do you feel when you believe this thought? And so they'll say things like, well, I feel like I'm worthless. And I'm like, that's not a feeling. I don't think it's a feeling. I'm looking at the wheel and I don't see worth like I'm worthless as a
Yeah,
feeling.
it's more like you're
That's a thought.
experiencing. Yeah. It's
It's
like
like that's a
you're
thought.
associating worthlessness with sadness and maybe like, I don't know, lonely,
Yeah, like I can
like a
imagine how I might
yeah.
feel if I had the thought, wow, I'm worthless.
Mm-hmm.
I might feel really sad. I might feel, lonely.
Yeah.
I might feel very fragile or I might feel
Mm-hmm.
overwhelmed, I might just feel bad. But it's not a feeling, that's a thought. And so this happens to me every single time I start with a new client. And I have clients who I have worked with for years who still I'll be like, okay, so when you have the thought, you know, I'm I'm never going to be able to move out of my parents' house. How do
Mm-hmm.
you feel when you believe that thought? And they'll be like, well, I just feel like I'm a failure. And I'm like, that's not a feeling. That's another thought. How do you feel when you have the thought and you believe the thought, I'm a failure? And there is such a barrier for so many people I've worked with to connect to the actual feeling behind the thought.
Mm-hmm.
They're just in their head, they're just overthinking. Like they don't even clock that the feeling that they're feeling in their body when they think that thought is sad or is
Yeah.
anger or is fear, right? Like they're not even aware of what the feelings are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why it's so important, like you said, like where you feel it in your body. I always ask my clients, where are you feeling this emotion that you're stating that you have? Where do you feel it in your body? Um, Mostly when I ask that, it is about anxiety because I feel like most clients I have some form of anxiety. And you can feel it in different parts of your body, and people don't really know that you can feel anxiety in your chest, in your stomach. You might feel sweaty, like it's all like it's gonna be all over the place for depending on who you are. No one's the same. And that's the other thing. No one is gonna feel their emotions in the same spot all the time. So, but
True.
yeah, I always get a stomach ache for my
When you're
anxiety.
anxious.
Yeah, it's always a stomach ache, like clockwork. Ever since I was little, I didn't know when I was little that that's what it was. But when I got older, I was like, oh, that feeling is associated with this word. So, and that's that I was able to understand, like, okay, when I feel that feeling, something is happening, and try to figure out what's going on, what's making me feel this way. Like, can I calm myself down? I always, this is not going too off topic, but I don't know if you know about the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding technique.
Oh, yes, I do. But just in case someone's listening or watching who has not experienced the magic of the
Love
five, four,
it.
three, two, one.
Yes. Yeah. So it's 5 things you can, is it see, then
I don't,
touch.
yeah, I always mix up the order and then I
I
get
know.
to the
I'm
end and
like,
I'm like, I have to pick like three
I,
things I can taste. What?
yeah. Wait, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding technique because I'm gonna make sure. Okay, 5 things you can see, 4 things you can feel, 3 that you can hear, 2 you can smell, and then 1 that you can taste. So it's using all the senses.
That's what I always have to
Yeah.
remind myself is save taste for last because otherwise you end up having to go around and licking lots of stuff and that's weird.
Oh my gosh. I always say if you've eaten something recently, this one will be easy for you. If not, I don't know.
It
I'm
is
like,
weird. But it gets you back into the moment and out of your head, right? It gets you a
yes.
little bit out of your thoughts and into your feelings and into your
Mm-hmm.
body, especially because
Yeah.
your senses live in your body. It's a little bit closer to your emotions. And it is so
Mm-hmm.
hard to acknowledge your feelings if you're just like in your head the whole time.
Yes. Yeah, because if you're only in your head, it's not like we as humans we need something that's tangible. Not all the time, but having something tangible where you can say, okay, I'm angry and I know I'm angry because I'm clenching my fists. I feel hot. My face is turning red. I'm starting to sweat. Like your muscles are tensing up because you're clenching your fists. And because of that, I know something around me is making me angry. And there's also underlying feelings because we already talked about that, that anger has is always going to have an underlying emotion. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing how your body can tell you exactly what's going on.
Yes. So I have a little story for that. And then before we get to that story, why do you
Hmm.
think that based on what I know, I'm gonna put the feelings wheel away for now.
Okay.
We so like if objectively, if scientifically, there's no significant data to show that women are emotionally more intelligent than men, why do we all believe it? Why do you think
I've
we
been thinking
have
about
that
that.
narrative?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that since I looked at that article. And again, it's only one article. It was done with a lot of people. It was done with 5,000 participants. So that is a significant amount.
And in
But
the executive summary at the beginning, they said something like we looked into this because it's kind of assumed that women like
yes.
are more emotionally intelligent, and there's been a little bit of data that might back that up, but also it's not conclusive, so we wanted to do this other
Hmm.
study that we think will help us understand better.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and I liked that it did start like that because I also was under the impression that women had higher EQ. Um, and I think it's because, like we talked about in the last episode, society like has such a big part in, I know, damn society, but has such a big part in how we view ourselves, other people, men, women, in between, and what our roles are. Like, even though like individually, yeah, there are going to be some women that have a higher EQ than men and vice versa. There's going to be some men that have higher EQs than women. And I think that's why the study did find that it is more balanced. But I think there's a lot more women that they notice that they have like a higher EQ or they don't and they're interested in working on it. Like, I think a lot of men just
Yeah,
aren't interested in working on their EQ because it is not something that is held in a high regard in society.
it's really not. I
Yeah.
almost am wondering because IQ is like kind of my perception of IQ, so like your intelligence
Hmm.
quotient, is that you're
Yeah.
just sort of kind of born with it. Like you can maybe
Yeah.
move it up a little, down a little based on like your behaviors, but you're kind of like
Hmm.
you're either like weirdly analytical of the world around you or you're not. So
Oh, so are you wondering if you can change the EQ and change the
I
IQ?
am wondering if my EQ would be anything like it is if I hadn't A, been socialized as a woman, B, gone
Hmm.
into the field of education where I had was
Yeah.
exposed to classes and conversations and books about
Hmm.
and like trained on how to help other people understand their feelings. Like I don't feel like I know about emotions because I'm just so in touch with my emotions. Like I do feel that I
Yeah.
know about it almost the same way that I know how to cook because I practiced and I've read a lot of books on
Hmm.
it, and I was like, I need to be able to cook. So I've done a
Yeah.
lot of work in that field.
I
And I
agree.
does that make sense?
No, it makes complete sense because while you were talking, I was like, you're right. Like, because as a kid, I've always been very in touch with my feelings, but or And like I said earlier, I didn't know the feeling of anxiety in my body, but now I do. Like you said, you're learning more of the terminology, you've read books about it. And without that, you and I both wouldn't be here knowing as much as we know now if we hadn't put in the work and been in certain fields. Like I've been in customer service fields my whole life, or like just helping professions, um, whatever that looks like. For you, it was education. Um, and that gave us both really good backgrounds to be able to walk in other people's shoes and really try to understand because we wanted to understand how other people were feeling besides ourselves.
Yeah, and I have spent money on books about this. I have like
Mm-hmm.
a copy of Brene Brown's Atlas of the Heart that I think came out in
Oh,
like 2021, and it really
yeah.
is just like a list of all the feelings and like what is the difference between jealousy and greed? What's the difference between shame and guilt?
Oh,
What's the difference between,
yeah.
like because they are like we use them interchangeably, and it's so
Mm-hmm.
helpful to have names for them that mean something instead of like,
Yes.
and it's helpful to be able to name them. This is what I'm learning as a parent of a kid um, who has big feelings. As, honestly, they all have big feelings. Honestly,
Yeah.
we all have big feelings. But
Mm-hmm.
I have a I have a male child, and he has big feelings, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes those feelings get him in trouble, and he'll be like angry and then he'll yell, or he's angry and then he throws something, or he's angry and then he pushes someone or tries to hit or kick. And
Yeah.
so my job as his parent is to be like, hey, it's okay to feel angry. It's not okay to hit people. It's not okay
Yeah.
to. And then I'm like, wait a second, what the fuck is it okay to do when you're feeling angry? Because
Mm-hmm.
you put a kid in a classroom, and it's not okay to yell. It's not okay to be rude to your teacher. It's not okay to hit anyone. It's not okay to throw anything. It's not even really okay to go over in the corner and grab a pillow and yell into it, right? Because all of those things are going to make someone uncomfortable.
Yeah. I do like the pillow one. Um, Especially if you're alone.
If you're alone, it's perfect. And at home, we use that all the time. I'll
Yeah.
be like, hit this pillow, right?
Yeah. Hitting a
You
pillow is
know,
amazing.
wail on the couch as hard as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can understand if you've got a classroom of like 15 5-year olds and one of them
Yeah.
just starts going off into the corner just wailing on the beanbags, you might experience some concern. So I was trying to figure out
Mm-hmm.
like what is it okay to do when you're feeling angry, because I don't know. As a grown ass woman, I don't know
Yeah.
what's okay to do. I know that my husband doesn't like it when I yell. I know
Mm-hmm.
that, like, if I'm at work and I'm angry, I'm not supposed to yell or be sassy or cry. Like, I'm just not allowed to do anything when I'm angry. And so, what I settled on, um, like, we'll find out, I guess, if it works, is that it's okay to say that you are feeling really angry.
Yeah.
And that just
Yeah.
like naming it and being like,
Mm-hmm.
I am so angry right now. Like that's what I feel
Mm-hmm.
comfortable saying to my kid. I'm not going to yell at my kid because I'm angry. I don't want to like
Yeah.
throw something or raise my voice or scare him because I'm angry. And maybe he's doing some things that are amping up the anger, but like he's
Mm-hmm.
5. It's not his fault I'm angry. Right? Like I'm not angry
Yeah.
at him. I'm angry because we're running late, or I'm angry because like now I have to clean the floor again or something like that. I'm not angry
Mm-hmm.
at him. And so I have started just being like, I am so angry. And like
Yeah.
that has been just so helpful for me and for him to be able to just name how we're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah, for sure. No, it does make sense because at least you're getting it out in a certain way that is not harmful for you and it's not harmful for others and especially it's not harmful for your child.
Yeah.
Like,
And
and
then
he gets to
everyone
know how
around
you
me knows.
feel.
yeah, everyone around me
Yeah.
now knows I'm angry. And
Mm-hmm.
so you can kind of adjust your expectations around
Yeah, adjust expectations, adjust like yourself accordingly, like knowing Megan said she's angry, so like just don't bother her right now. Like she needs
yeah,
to calm down or like she needs to like you need to deal with your own anger. And since you let people know, they can just be like, okay.
yeah. Yeah, it's been really interesting for me to kind of experiment with like how much of my anger do I let show?
Mm-hmm.
Because like I'm in my own house and I do think I should be able to yell if I'm feeling angry. I do think I should be
Yeah.
not like yell hurtful words at people, but just to
But
like
like
literally
scream.
make a loud noise,
Yes.
you
I do
know,
that,
and
but I also don't live with others. But I do that a lot.
yeah,
Like
Indian
even
pillow
in
is
for a
really
lot of
good.
emotions. Yes, the pillow one.
Yeah. And but even just like out loud is so cathartic and it just helps so
Mm-hmm.
much because when you're angry and here's what I've learned like where oh I have to plug my computer in one sec.
Okay.
Be the shortest podcast we've ever done.
The computer was like, I need juice right now.
I
I
know.
thought I
I
had my
updated
glasses
my
on and I went to adjust
software.
them.
Oh, I updated my software because Apple asked me to, and I probably could have predicted this, but it was a poor choice, a very poor choice to update my operating system.
Do you have a Mac?
I have a Mac and I have an
Okay.
iPhone, so I just got the update on my iPhone, so I knew it was a trick. I knew I shouldn't do it. And now my battery life is just nothing.
Oh
It's
no.
like, yeah, got like,
Ugh.
yeah,
I
about like
hate that
maybe
they do
40
that.
minutes. Yeah, I'm angry at that. That's what I'm angry at today.
I'm angry at that for you because why can't they let our battery life be more than an hour?
Planned
Like, I don't get
obsolescence.
it.
They make a lot more money if we have to buy it. Because this computer, because my Macs work great. I've had Macs since
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sponsored at all. I'm just like, um, I don't like to put a lot of thought into my buying decisions. I'm never going to sit in front of like a spreadsheet of like the different
Mm-hmm.
features the different computers have. If I get one and I don't have problems with it, like that's my brand now. Like
Yeah.
I know this one works for me. And even though they're more expensive, I've never had one stop working on me. They'll get
Yeah.
like annoyingly a short battery life eventually, but I've had my computer now since 2021. So this is like, yeah, I've had it for like 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it works perfect. It's fine. There's no issues. Phone, same thing. I've had it since like 2020. I haven't had to upgrade it. Like it works really good. I could just keep using it forever. So they want me to buy a new laptop.
And you're like, no, fuck no. We're not buying new laptops.
I'm not. I'm not. So that's what I'm mad at today. What are you mad at today? I'm also
My
mad at like
God.
8 million other things.
I know, it's
Um,
like, where do I start? First of all, the government, um, everything having to do with it right now, to be honest. Um, people just like dying, like trying to like use their constitutional rights, dying in the street right now in Minnesota specifically. It's driving me insane. Let's see.
yeah, seven Democrats voted to continue ISIS funding.
Yes,
And I
I
saw that today, and that pisses me off.
it just it makes you really see that there is no political party that is for the people. There are people in in political parties that are for the people, but there's no party that is solely going to help us. There are individuals that'll help us, but I have no faith in an actual group.
No. Well, also, like, it shouldn't be a team sport. It shouldn't be like the Democrats versus the Republicans.
It should, yeah, it shouldn't be
Like
like that. I agree.
are we the only country that has that? Because I know like Britain has like four or five
Yeah.
parties. Canada has at least three. Like there should be
Yeah.
more than two parties. It should be
Hmm.
more than like, well, I'm team red and I'm team blue. So I'm just gonna like
Yeah.
follow the lead of whoever my team captain is right now and do what they say.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know that the US people have tried to get other parties involved, but there's just so many people that are just really rooted in the two-party system that they're like, I don't want to risk it. I'm like, if more people risk it, we
What
could
are we
have three
risking?
parties. Exactly. I'm like, it's
What
like
is
we've
they're
already risked the
arresting
most.
children. They are arresting
Yeah.
children off the street who are on their way to
Yeah.
school, who are out to buy a snack. They are
The
murdering
5-year-old,
people in the streets.
the
Like
5-year-old is like, I I felt physically sick when I saw that. Like I feel ill, and also like his little face, he looks like how my boyfriend did when he was little. Like from pictures he showed me, and I'm like that like it shouldn't matter if it's personal or not, but it should be personal for everyone because it's a child. But for me, I saw it and I was like, oh my God, he looks exactly like how my boyfriend looks when he was a kid. I'm like, I can't.
there's so much to be angry at right now. And I think like what a good time to be having this conversation because
Mhm.
one thing is we need to understand our emotions and we need to be able to understand a that we're feeling them
Mhm.
and what they feel like in our body. And then we need to be able to figure out what do we do with them?
Yeah. How
Because,
do we put them out into the world in a positive way?
yeah, and here's the thing that I am currently obsessed with is the idea that yes, there are like hurtful and inappropriate ways to deal with our anger, right? Like
Mhm.
we all know we all know the feeling of like going off on someone because we're angry and we say things that hurt. And we do things that are stupid, like throw our phone across the room, and now we have a dent in our wall forever. Like we, my sister's college boyfriend was a piano major, and he got so angry one day he punched through a wall and like fractured his hand. Like that's his livelihood. He's a pianist.
Wow. Oh
So like,
yeah.
you know, our anger comes out of us in ways that are harmful. And
Mhm.
if we assume that we have all of our emotions for a reason, the emotion of anger is to get us off our butts, looking around and being like, what is underneath this? Why am I feeling so
Mhm.
angry? What is wrong? Right now, I think a lot of us are angry because
Yeah.
we're really scared. We're
Yes.
really overwhelmed, and what else are we feeling? Yeah, we're feeling
Yeah,
anxious.
scared.
We're feeling insignificant. We're feeling nervous, persecuted,
Yeah.
exposed, like violated.
Mhm.
And we've been taught not to do anything with this anger because because it makes other people uncomfortable or it could blow back on you
Mhm.
there are consequences when you act
Yes.
from anger. But there are also consequences when you don't act from anger.
Mhm. I
If you
agree.
bottle your anger up and you tell yourself that like you can't actually do anything about it, that like you don't have a place here, that your voice doesn't matter,
Mhm.
then your anger kind of like crunches up. And for me it turns into depression. If I
Yeah.
feel the anger and it's a real anger and I choose not to do anything about it, it turns into depression, it turns into burnout, and it it's not helpful for anyone.
Yeah. Definitely the burnout one. I feel that.
Yeah.
I was thinking about like when you said about being scared, like the anger and being scared, and with everything going on with ICE and everything, because there was actually a protest today in Tallahassee, um, for like a No Kings protest, and I really wanted to go, but no one else wants to go with me to any of the protests. And I'm scared to go alone. So, and it
Yeah.
like the
I'm scared
anger,
to
I'm
go
trying to
alone, and
put it,
I'm white as fuck, and I'm still scared to go alone to a protest.
yes, I'm like, I would be fine. I mean, hypothetically,
Yeah.
um, but it's still scary. And I think that makes me also angry that there's like, I wish more people would want to get together, like, like I guess friends. I'm like, come on, I want like to take action. And I know there are
Yes.
other ways to take action than going to protests, but I'm just like, damn, I really
Yeah.
wish that someone would go with me so I could just like feel like I just want to feel like I'm making an effort for change.
Hmm.
And I know we're doing it here, talking about it. So I love that. But
But
there's
yeah,
only
how
so
did
much
if
we can talk about.
yeah, and hopefully people
Yeah,
are listening, and hopefully
I
people
hope
will
so.
tell us what you think in the comments, and
Yes.
join in the conversation. And if you have questions for us, like let us know. Um, or heck, like come on the podcast. We're just two people. Like just
Hmm.
us. We'd love
Yeah,
to
we're just
chat.
two friends talking about things.
Yeah, I went to my first protest. It wasn't even a protest, it turns out. So here's something I have learned is that the word protest is being very overused, right? Like,
Okay.
um, so a protest is generally some form of civil disobedience to get a
Hmm.
reaction or to raise awareness. And
Yeah.
so if you have like a rally planned where like you're all here and it's cleared with the police and like you've got your permits and like the roads closed off
Hmm.
and stuff like that, might be more of a rally because it's not actually
Okay.
impeding anyone's day and like everyone's on board with it. Like it's, but it's not necessarily, but where versus like if you sit on the steps of Congress and like peacefully like sit and you're like, we're not moving, like you can step on us, you can like walk past us,
Yeah.
but we're going to be right here. That would be more of a protest, is my understanding currently, which I keep learning.
Okay.
I keep learning
No,
new
that's new
ways
to
that I'm
me.
wrong every single day. So
Yeah. No,
I
I
went
was
to
wrong
more of a
too.
rally, you know.
Yeah. That's what this one, okay, that changes what was today. It was more of a rally and like a march because they were gonna walk
Yeah.
around like a route around the Capitol.
Hmm.
But still, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, if
You
you're
just
not
don't
breaking any
know.
rules at all, it's probably not like a protest.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I went to a rally or a protest for like a No Kings rally in April,
Hmm.
and I was scared, and I was like, I've never been to one of these before. I was
Yeah.
more scared when I lived in Tallahassee because there are a lot of people with guns in Tallahassee, and it really just takes one person with a
Yes.
gun.
Hmm. So many guns.
Like it just takes one person.
Hmm.
And I so yeah, but I always felt that like I want to go. I feel like I really do want to go, and I feel scared to go, and I wish other people would go with me. And so when I went in April, I asked friends in the area. I was like, I really want to go to this protest. Does anyone else want to go? And I was like, oh, I can't come. I don't have a babysitter. Oh, I have work
Hmm.
that day. Oh, it's supposed to be raining. And I was like, I felt so frustrated. And I was like,
Yeah.
where are my people? Where are my friends
Hmm.
who will try this with me?
Yes.
I ended up going with my mom.
That's so great.
I went with my mom and I brought my kid with me because I also did not have childcare. And I was like,
Yeah.
it'll be his first protest, and maybe when he is older, he won't feel
I,
so scared about going by himself
yeah.
then.
I know, I wish, because I'm so comfortable going to so many things alone, but that I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
I would say
I,
next time try it out and just know you
yeah.
can always leave if you're really uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's
you
also
know,
the
if he's,
parking situation downtown. You know how that is. I was
yeah.
like, where am I gonna park and then walk to this rally? Like,
Hmm.
I also was like, the logistics are freaking me out, but that's a whole different issue.
Yeah,
So
the logistics are, yeah, confusing.
I was
But
like,
yeah,
I have no idea where to go, like parking
yeah,
wise. But, and I've lived here like
I
my
did
whole
not
life.
either. I tried
Yeah.
parking in like a grocery store parking lot, like a couple blocks away, and then walking. And yeah, it's just, it's one of those things where, like, yeah, the emotion is there. You can't, yeah, it makes sense to be afraid to go to a
Hmm.
protest by yourself. And you can do things to make it a little less logistically scary. Like, you can have a plan of, like, I'm going to park here and I'm going to walk there and I'm going to make sure someone knows where I am and knows to check in with me at
Hmm.
like 5 p.m. if I'm not home yet. So they
Yes.
can,
Oh my
like,
gosh.
on the off
Yeah.
chance I get arrested or something.
Oh my
Um,
gosh. Yeah, because they're just arresting everyone now.
yeah, well, because they don't actually
Like,
know because the bad guys are
yeah.
the ones arresting people.
Ye
So
yes, let's rage against the machine in this bitch.
yeah, there's like, I don't know. I don't know how you think you're the
I don't
good
know.
guy if you're arresting children and
That
shooting
I will
people.
never. So speaking of people like these guys arresting children, I saw that they're supposed to do a check, like a background check where it says if they've had any kind of domestic violence, anything on their record, and they are not doing that.
Oh, I mean, that's like
I mean,
a
I'm not
whole
shocked, but I'm
freaking,
like, they're literally hiring abusers without with which I'm not shocked, but again, I'm just like this, it makes so much sense why they don't care
no, they
about the
don't.
women and children. Not that like men should be targeted either, but it's like they don't care that they're going for the vulnerable at all, which
No.
is kids.
Well, if you know anything about abusers, you know that they go for the weak and the vulnerable on purpose because they're too
Yeah,
afraid to go for anyone who might actually hurt them. Like, and
yeah.
that's
I
the
just
reason that they see one man with a gun, and all of a sudden they're like, "That's
mhm.
a threat to my life." And it's like, we live in America. We have the Second Amendment. Literally, anyone you pass in
Yeah,
the street could have a gun. That's the world we've chosen to live in. I didn't
yeah.
choose it. I vote for it
And now
against
they're
it every chance I get. But, like,
yeah,
it's like, you see, there's a woman in a minivan who's in a car and could theoretically maybe hurt them, and they lose it. They can't
yeah.
function because they're they're only brave when they know they can win.
Yeah. And also, it's the whole I need to be in control power trip thing that abusers have, and also just a lot of law enforcement in general. Like anyone with a uniform,
With
I
the
assume has some sort of control and power trip
Yes,
situation.
and and but also, I will throw out there that I often extend the benefit of the doubt to people who are
Yeah.
signing up for law enforcement. I'm like, I can see that by being in a uniform and by going through some of the experiences, it's likely that you end up with some real effed up behaviors. Like,
Yeah.
at some point, I think that would be hard
Yeah.
to avoid in those positions.
Definitely.
And also, like, it's real, and there's ways
Yeah.
to help with this, like taking your mental health seriously and not being
Hmm.
afraid to talk about your feelings and not being afraid to feel
Yes.
your feelings. And
And both things can be true.
yeah,
The like I do feel bad for police officers that go through trauma and now have PTSD. I also don't like that they're being shitty with their badge.
yes,
So
exactly.
it's like we need to find a nice balance. So innocent people don't get hurt.
Agreed. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I agree completely.
Okay, we've gone pretty deep on this one. Emotions, I think,
Yes.
are important. If if women are not inherently better at emotions, and I think like my next thought is like, okay, men, do better. Like if we're not biologically better at emotions, then you
And we're
can
just
learn
doing the
this
work.
too. Yeah, just
Hmm.
like hop on board. And I know it can be done because now my husband talks about all his feelings
Yeah,
and helps his friends
yeah,
talk
he's a
about their
product.
feelings.
Yeah, he's an
Yeah.
example.
And my kid does too. And like I think
Hmm.
it's bizarre right now to be raising if you're raising like a boy child right now, it's bizarre because you will see your son be so much more emotionally intelligent and so much more respectful of other people's boundaries and feelings than literally any grown man in your life.
Hmm.
Because we're teaching him that on purpose. Like
Yeah,
we're teaching them to read and like we're teaching them their colors, you know? We're teaching them about their emotions and it's working. And if a 5-year-old can do it, then you can do it too.
definitely. Um, so for anyone listening, we are going to be doing a segment at the end of the episode that we read questions right now from Reddit, that are from some that I found off of r slash ask a therapist. Um, but hopefully in the future we'll have people writing in their own questions, is what I'm hoping. That way we can answer listener questions. But for now, I have found some questions, and Megan has not heard of these questions yet. So she is blind reacting. I have read them. But yeah, so we're gonna get started with that. So this is our
I'm so
little
excited.
our little ask a therapist slash ask a life coach question of the hour. So I have a few. We might not get to all of them, but this first one I think you're gonna find interesting. So this user asked, my therapist told me I'm not attractive. How should I take it? I know.
Oh,
So so in this
no.
So I'm going to read what they wrote. So they said, so my therapist told me I'm not attractive. How should I take it? For context, in today's session, I wanted to discuss about my low self-esteem and how I don't feel pretty, and specifically that I don't like my facial features. So for anyone not watching, Megan is losing it on camera. Okay. So So I started talking about how I never managed to improve my self-esteem, and recently I've been stuck in these downward spiral of obsessive thoughts of comparing myself to every person I see on the street constantly. It honestly tires me out mentally. I can hardly manage it these days. And while we were talking about this, she told me, and then in parentheses says, I didn't ask previously what she thought about my looks. She told me, you are not pretty, but you have an interesting face. And honestly, that kind of threw me off. I mean, she's entitled to have her own opinion, but I didn't expect her to tell me outright that my face is not attractive. What do you think? Honestly, I haven't received any good cue from her about my problems, but I've been attending her sessions for 4 months now, so I'm giving her time. She works with psychoanalysis, which I'm not a big fan of myself, but in my country,
No.
parentheses Argentina, I know, I'm thinking the same thing. So in my country, Argentina, the majority of therapists work with that pseudoscience. I love that she said pseudoscience.
I love that. Yeah.
And
She
at
knows.
the end, yeah, at the end, it says, hope everything I wrote makes sense. I'm not native. Thanks for reading. So, what are
Gosh,
your
it
thoughts?
all makes so much sense. I just want to say, like, if you are this woman or if you are in a similar situation, you have my permission right now, for what it's worth, to go find a different therapist because that's just not helpful.
Completely agree. Insane. Insane work by that therapist. I was shocked. I like
You don't
took my
need to give
breath
your
away.
therapist a second chance. Like your therapist is someone you
No.
hire to help you. And if they drop something like that on you, then
Hmm.
like I'd say that's a big red flag for me. That would be a like, great,
Oh, the
you're not my
biggest.
therapist.
Yeah,
Bye.
for
Like I will find someone new.
especially because like you said, you're paying them to help you.
To
And this
make you
is
feel
doing the
better.
opposite.
No,
Yeah.
unless they were trying some weird like reverse psychology.
Yeah, which in I feel like
Like
should have
just
been
negging them,
discussed
like
at some
building up
point.
their thick skin. Be like, actually,
Yeah. What I
um,
think is weird is saying you're not pretty, but you have an interesting face. Like, what does that, the
yeah.
interesting face, like, what are they getting at? I want to, like, not that I want to see this person to, like, judge their looks, but I'm like, what do they mean by interesting face? Like,
You
that
know
could
what?
mean
No, but
so many things.
I think that can mean a lot of things. But I could see that being said if I was extending gratitude. I could see that being said by a therapist who also probably has issues with comparison
Yeah,
and
they're projecting.
overvaluing perfection and a certain
Hmm.
standard of physical beauty. And they
Yeah.
haven't done the work to unpack that in themselves. And so they're
Hmm.
like, oh, yeah, like, sweetheart, you're not going to be America's next top model or Argentina's next top model, but like you do have a very like interesting face. Like you're nice to look at. Like
Yeah.
there are good qualities about you, but they just like totally
Yeah.
missed the
They missed the
mark.
mark. Yeah. No, they missed the mark for sure. So,
That is my
but
most generous interpretation of what the
I was about to say
therapist is
that
trying
was
to do.
a very devil's advocate one, and I did like that take though, because I was thinking completely like the negative side of like interesting face, but I'm like, damn, interesting face, what? But the other part that stuck out for me, I don't know about you, but that she hasn't received like good like she said, good, received any good cues. So I
Yeah,
guess
like how
any
to deal
good
with that.
ways to deal with her, how she's feeling. And she's been with her for 4 months.
Yeah,
Like,
you can leave. You can just
yeah,
go. If you
yeah,
wouldn't stay with a man, everything is dating. Every single thing in your life is dating. If you're with a therapist for 4 months and they're still not
mm-hmm,
helping you, you can just break up with them. You can just
yes,
go. Ditto for a life coach. If you're, I
mm-hmm,
always have 6 month packages with my clients because I'm like, I like there's a hard like I'm not a because like often we are fixing specific problems. And if I
yeah,
can't help you find your way out of this paper bag in 6 months, then like I'm not gonna take more of your money. But also like there should be a time to stop and check in and be like, is this still serving me? Is this still helpful? Whether or not you vibe with your therapist, right? Um,
yeah,
but if you don't vibe, so many people are like, oh, well, I should stick it out and see if it works because we go into therapy thinking there's something wrong with me.
mm-hmm,
And if I'm not getting something out of therapy, we are predisposed to think that we are possibly doing it wrong and that they know what they're doing. And that if we just
yeah,
stick with it, eventually we'll receive results. And that is sometimes true, but sometimes it is very, very, very not true.
mm-hmm,
Sometimes you're with the
yeah,
wrong therapist. And so if you would leave a guy after 4 months of dates,
mm-hmm,
if you're just not feeling it, you can do the same with a therapist.
yeah. I love the comparison to dating. I've said that to other people before. I've even had a client that I saw for a couple sessions and she was like, I just don't feel like I can open up to you. And I'm like, that's totally fine. Like, I'm not everyone's cup of tea. Um, and if you know what you're lacking in a therapist and you are searching for something specific, like I can definitely refer you to other people. Like it's
Hmm.
no hard feelings at all.
Yeah,
Like,
and if you don't know what you're looking for exactly, like I am so neurotic about my therapist. I'm like, I want someone
hmm,
Like, I want someone who's going to do this modality with me to work on this specific problem. Like, this is me as a life
Yes.
coach coming into therapy. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I want to
Yeah.
try EMDR, and
Love
I want to do
EMDR.
virtual sessions, or I really want to do internal family systems or something. There's normally something that I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I would really like to have this facilitated on me because I think it would help me with X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
I know not everyone is like that, but you can still go on first dates. Even if you don't know what you're looking
Mm-hmm.
for, you can go on first dates with a whole bunch of therapists and
Yeah.
then be like, oh, this one seems like a good fit. And then you can go in.
Yeah. A
This
little
is why I
trial
don't think
period.
therapists should take health insurance because then you don't feel like you can go on dates. If you have to pick
Yes.
one who takes your insurance and if you have to pick one, but like in Argentina, maybe that's not a problem because you guys
Yeah.
aren't in the US, so you guys can
Yeah. They might
afford
have
shit.
something. Yeah, they might have something different going on. I know when I become fully licensed, I'm not going to be taking insurance. I'm going to have like some spots that are like sliding scale. If you know what that means?
Yeah,
Where like you go,
sliding
yeah, go
scale.
base. Yeah, sliding scale, which anyone who doesn't know what that means, it's based off of your income. So I would have spots that are like more affordable for people based on their income. And then spots that are like regular priced. But yeah, because of insurance, like it hinders us a lot, and that's a whole other thing that I'm not going to get into today.
Okay, we will
So
not discuss insurance today. But you know what? What would help this person, I think, to get past some of the like that comparison is A, to accept that this is not something that's uniquely wrong with her. Like, we are all
yeah,
doing this. Like, there is a
hmm
part of my brain right now that is comparing my bangs to my bangs yesterday, that is comparing my face to Danielle's face, that is wondering, like, oh, like, like, she looks so nice, she looks so young, and I'm, oh, my hair is not that. Like, there is a part of us always that's comparing ourselves to other people.
yeah,
If you're socialized as a woman, this part of your brain has been fed and strengthened and watered until it is one of the strongest parts of your brain. and
yeah,
um, so, like, A, give yourself a break and acknowledge that you are doing this and it sucks and it hurts. And also, probably every other woman you know is doing the same thing.
yeah.
Um,
It
so,
always
like,
helps to feel like
you're not alone.
yeah, and I think
Favorite
that one sentence
book on
alone,
this?
yeah,
Do you have a
that
favorite book on like dealing with body image?
I do not.
Which is mine.
I love the topic of body image because it is so ever changing. And especially since we were younger, I know you were talking about looking younger, but I don't think you and I are that far apart in age.
Mhm.
But I'm thinking of like you said America's Next Top Model earlier. Oh my God. Was that
We grew
something that
up
like,
with that ish.
oh, it was
Yeah.
horrible. Then looking back, I'm like Tyra Banks was a monster.
I mean,
Like of her
yeah.
time, but I'm just like, wow, I could not. Like,
No. That would have crushed
um,
me. And I think
yeah.
watching it fucked me up. Okay, my favorite book on women's body image is called More Than a Body. Your Body is
Ooh,
an Instrument, Not an Ornament. It's by sisters
okay.
Lexi Kite and Lindsay Kite. They both have PhDs and they are identical twins. And so I love the unique perspective they bring to body dysmorphia
Okay.
because they grew up with like literally a carbon copy of themselves, right? And who, like, if one of them fit in the swimsuit and the other one didn't, can you like imagine?
Yeah. Oh my
It's
God.
bad enough
No.
having sisters and friends.
Yes.
Like, it's bad
I know.
enough
I
having
have it.
friends who get their boobs
Yeah.
first or like who are just
Mm-hmm.
naturally lithe and slender. But like having a like identical twin and like you
That's,
gain 10 pounds and she doesn't, like, I can't imagine. But they have a
I'm
great
so
perspective. They
glad.
have a lot of really good tools in that book. Um,
Yeah. I just
how
looked it
to
up. I'm gonna have
start.
to order that.
Yeah, it's a
Do you want to
great, great
drop
read.
that in the
I'll make sure that it's
comments?
linked in the show notes, yeah, because
Yes.
that is one of my favorite books on the topic.
Awesome.
There are luckily now a bazillion books with people sharing their stories with body dysmorphia. which, if you're not familiar with the term, is just the thing that happens when you look at your body and you don't have a really accurate view of what it looks like because you're only focusing on the negative parts of it. Uh, we all kind of do that. Like when I look in the mirror, I'm going to notice the wrinkles, or like the pores or blackheads that, like,
Oh my
I don't know,
God.
you're never going to look at me and notice my wrinkles in the first 5 seconds, like, because you just don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Um, so the top comments agree with us, of course.
Of course.
First one says therapist here, verified clinical psychologist. Uh, that was a wildly inappropriate thing to say. Agree.
Hmm.
Next one down, she was inappropriate given the above and your stated feeling that she's offered you little effective therapy. I suggest finding a better therapist. Yes.
I
Um,
wonder if this woman has signed up for like a psychological study and she just doesn't know it. I don't know what
ooh,
the
I
standards are about that in Argentina.
I don't
Um,
know.
but I
I
remember
like
reading a
that
bunch of
twist.
those studies like in college where you're like, a bunch of college students were brought in and they were told they were being uh, tested for this thing, but really they were being tested for how long they could stand this ridiculous test. And
Yeah.
I know we used to do that. I'm not a fan of that. I don't think that's super ethical, but also in psychology, there's some, it's hard to come right at some questions and get good answers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that is how inappropriate that comment is, that it makes me wonder
Like,
if they're doing some sort of
yeah, it was
study.
when I saw that I was like, screenshot taking that one because that's insane. Like,
Hmm.
wow. So do you want a choice of questions? I'll give you two
No,
to choose from. You just wanted me
let's
to pick one?
just go with the next one on the list. I think we have time for maybe one more, and then we'll save the
That's
next
what
one
I was
for.
thinking. Yeah, that's why I was like, do you want me to like give you an option?
No, because
Okay.
I don't want to make any
Okay.
more decisions today.
Fair. And I love that boundary setting. Okay. So I'm just gonna go with the next one on the list then. This one says, and it's also from R Ask a Therapist. How do I tell my very religious sister I'm no longer Christian without causing drama? I know, I knew you'd like this one.
Oh,
Okay, so
love that.
I'm gonna read the story and then we can talk about it. Okay, so this says, okay, I need advice. So I am meeting with my sister just to hang out and have a sister bonding time. For context, she, along with the rest of my family, are Christian, and I haven't been to church in about 1.5 years. And it's been about a year since I decided that I no longer consider myself a Christian. I wouldn't necessarily consider myself an atheist. I would just say that I'm not religious or spiritual. I haven't I haven't officially stated this to anyone. I live with my parents, so they know I haven't gone to church in a while, but I never officially told them I'm not Christian anymore. I only told my other sister, but I don't think she has told anyone else. Anyway, as far as for the sister I'm meeting with today, she is really religious, all caps, really religious.
Okay, I
Um,
immediately have a picture of
yeah,
this person in my head.
yes, along with her husband, who is also really religious. In fact, her husband is a presiding elder at their church, and his own father was a pastor, but he has since retired. I imagine our conversation will reach a point where she will ask me if I will go to church with her, or if I go to church anymore. She says, I don't plan to bring it up myself, but if she asks, I want to be honest and tell her the truth. But I don't want it to be a big deal where she freaks out and tries to evangelize to me and convince me to be Christian again and go to the church, or tells me I will go to hell if I don't. I am
Yeah.
interested in learning more about Christianity, i.e., hold on. Oh, wait, I lost where I was. I am interested in learning more about Christianity, i.e., the main beliefs, tenets, what is in the Bible, at least the main most important stuff. Who/what is God, and what is the nature of God, and the same for Jesus as well. And I would also like to know from a Christian perspective, why should I or anyone believe in God and Jesus and the Bible in the first place? How can they know that it is true and the right religion to believe in or follow? I actually wanted to ask my sister and her husband if we could discuss all of this and they could give me information and explain all of this stuff to me. Yes, I grew up Christian in a Christian family going to church every Sunday, but like most Christian families and churches, they didn't teach me jack squat except for basic stuff like believe in Jesus so you don't go to hell. God God created the world in 7 days and the Noah and the flood, basically the things that,
Well, original
yeah,
sin.
oh
Women are
yeah, original
awful.
women suck. And basically any person in America would know even if you weren't Christian or never set foot in church. She says, I'm hesitant to approach them because they are both really busy at the moment. They both have full-time jobs and have 3 kids under 5 years old. As I have mentioned, the husband is a presiding elder, which means he often has meetings, phone calls, and goes to meet with parishioners, goes to events, conferences, etc., and also requires a significant presence from my sister as well. So yeah, I want to know the best way to approach this situation and keep everything cool.
Oh my God.
So she
I love
says
this question.
for additional context, the sister is 11 years older than her.
I mean, anything.
Yeah, I think she's just saying that they were estranged for 3 years from 2020 to 2023, that they're good now, they're rebuilding their relationship. And I guess that's why she's more nervous about this because they just mended their relationship.
Yeah. That reminds me of
Yeah.
my little sister. My little sister is 13 years younger than me.
Wow.
I like I know me, right? Like so I'm just like I'm here if you need to talk, if you need me to be
Yeah.
silly, if you need a couch to crash on, I'm always here. But like that's not always her perception of me and sometimes she can be like a little intimidated because I'm so much older and she has seen me
Mm-hmm.
as like a grown up for most of her life. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Like I'm still not a grown up. Like I don't know. I'm a mom, but I'm not a grown up."
Yeah.
Danny, are you Christian or did you
So
grow up as a Christian?
I grew up Catholic, which is a version of Christianity, as everyone knows, but it's definitely very different growing up Catholic than growing up like Baptist or any other Christianity, like version of Christianity, really. Um, yeah, it comes with that good old Catholic guilt. Love
Love that.
that. Everyone likes to drink. Everyone likes to party, but then it's like some sins are okay and then some are not, you
Really,
know?
really bad. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Are
and I hate
you
that because
still
I'm like,
practicing or are you no
no,
longer a church goer?
I haven't, so I definitely don't go to church anymore. I don't see myself as a Christian. I see myself as someone who believes that there is a possibility for a lot of things in the world and in the universe. I really was like I'm not this isn't for me, especially after my dad passed away in 2020. Because everyone was like, well, everything happens for a reason and like that whole bullshit thing that like, oh, he's with God now. I'm like, don't tell me that. Like I'm like, no, he should be here. Like the way he died was not like it had no point, no reason, no like it wasn't like he was ill, like needed to die, like he wasn't, I don't know. It
Yeah.
just I was
That
like,
is
no,
very,
don't tell me that.
very frustrating.
So, yeah, so I was like, I'm
But
not
it's part of his plan.
exactly, and I can't stand that. And some people like find that comforting. I'm not one of those people.
Yeah. You have
So,
to really believe in the plan
yes.
if you're
Yeah,
going to
even
be okay with your dad
my
dying.
mom, yeah,
You
my
have to
mom
really
took
trust that plan.
yes. My mom took a while before she was able to go to like in a church service, because she was like, I just she felt very estranged from God at that point. We went to like they have like a Blessed Mother statue that we would go and like leave flowers and stuff. And I liked that because it was not an obligatory like I have to be in the church like for an hour and a half. You know, I could just go there, leave flowers, think about my dad, and leave with my and like be with my mom or like and support her. So like if it's supporting her, yeah, I'm gonna go. But if it's a lone choice, no, I'm not. It's not for me. What about you?
Actually like a practicing pagan now. I
Okay.
I
What?
joined a coven. I joined a coven. And honestly, I also was raised Catholic, so there's a lot about it that feels very comfortable because I'm like, people are in
Because of the
robes, we've got
rituals and stuff?
incense. Yes.
Okay.
I'm like, this is easy. Like, I got this. Like, we stand up when you
I'm
say to
so
stand, we repeat
intrigued.
after you. The Catholic in me kind of loves that. And I'm starting to see why other sects of Christianity were so like, oh, the Catholics, they're like weird and kind of basically pagan. And I'm like, yep, turns out
You
they
know,
really are.
and we have like the Blessed Mother, you know, like
Yeah,
there's worshiping Mary, which a lot of people don't like. And I'm like, honestly, she should be worshipped. She should be worshipped more. She
yeah,
was
she did
the
a
one that
lot of hard
birthed.
work.
Yes, like especially for her time period, even if like the whole Jesus thing wasn't like real, it's like there are still so many women like Mary that had to do stuff like that she did with the child, with like the men in the town, not like anyway. I think Mary just stands, she represents all women in a very positive way. And I've always liked the Blessed Mother.
Honestly, I would roll with any of the biblical women. They are badass
Yes.
and they don't get enough
They're
screen
so
time.
exactly. They're I'm like put on Mary Magdalene. Like I
Yeah,
don't think she was actually like even if she was a prostitute, I'm like that wasn't all she was. She was one of the disciples and they just don't talk about her. Like she
no.
was the one that did not leave his side
So
ever.
here's the if you do want to have conversations about like what exactly is God and what is the point of religion and why should we believe this and who are they, what's the nature of them? Like honestly, I think you got to find your people who are open to having that conversation. I have
Yes.
found some Christians are very open to having those conversations and
Mm-hmm.
some are very not. If you are
Yeah.
in Tallahassee, if you're listening to this and you're in the Tallahassee area, I've been away for 2 years now, but there was a meetup group, um, like a theology club that would meet at different breweries and then just like have discussions like this with like
That's so
theological,
interesting.
philosophical discussions. And I'm like, that is probably the kind of vibe you're looking for more so than like a Bible study because
Oh yeah. Yeah, this person
from
doesn't
my
say where they
experience,
are.
yeah, I mean, like you could be
Mm-hmm.
forever, but there are you're looking for a theological group,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily a Christian group to have those discussions with
Yeah.
because if you're a true believer and you believe that this is the one true way and that any other
Mm-hmm.
interpretation than the one you've been taught means you're going to hell, there's not a lot of wiggle room to have conversations with people who are questioning, right?
Yeah.
And I have found that to be true. I have also had conversations with pastors. You want to have this kind of chat? Find a pastor because they
They
love
and
to
they
talk
like
about this. And
yeah.
but find here's where I want to couch that. Find a pastor who went to seminary,
Mm-hmm.
an educated pastor, because depending on what type of Christianity you are in, you don't actually have to have any training. You can just start a church and call yourself a pastor. And that's one of the things I
Yes.
like about Catholicism is that there is a very long educational process where
Mm-hmm.
they they are encouraged to study and question and come to their own conclusions and their
Yeah.
own interpretation of the Bible and of what God is.
Hmm.
That has been evolving over time, and they have meetings in Rome, and they all talk about their different interpretations, and they try to kind of
Yeah.
meld them into something. Methodists do something similar, I believe, like Presbyterians do. There's like an
Yeah.
organization, a national organization, where they are rumbling with these questions all the time. If the sister here is like at one of those churches where like Reverend Jerry Bob started the church and made himself
Hmm.
the pastor, and like this is the way they do things and this is his interpretation and everyone follows him, like then that's going to be a harder conversation to have,
Yeah.
I would feel
They're
like,
sounding
because
they're sounding Southern Baptist to me for sure.
well, you never
Well, I
know.
guess with the language is what I'm thinking.
It does sound,
Um,
yeah, the church elder.
just yeah, church elder, like she doesn't want to deal with if she tries to evangelize me and tell me I'm going to hell. So that's the like the language. I'm like, it's
Yeah,
giving a
honestly,
little bit
if
bad
I was going
choice.
to advise a client on this, I would say that it sounds like you're not feeling ready to have this conversation with your sister yet. And you're not
Yeah.
obligated to have this conversation with your sister. It's almost like coming out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't owe her an explanation of your identity, whether that's your religious identity, your sexual identity, your gender identity. Like, you don't owe that to anyone who hasn't already
Yeah.
made you feel safe to have that conversation with them. And so if you're
Mm-hmm.
not feeling safe, and if you're feeling still like, how do I do this? And how do I know that she's not going to come at me? Then you don't have to have this conversation yet. It sounds like
Yeah.
maybe you're not ready and you don't owe it to her. And if you
I
want to have
agree.
these deeper conversations about religion, about Christianity, then you can find someone else to have those conversations with who you do trust, who you do feel safe around, and who you don't expect to evangelize at you or
Yeah.
like try to convince you you're wrong, because there are people in the Christian church, there are huge swaths of the Christian church that use
Mm-hmm.
very harmful techniques to really effectively kind of like traumatize people, to try to scare them
Yeah.
into, I don't know what like I don't even know what the point of it is at this point. I'm like,
The
they're
right
not,
direction.
yeah, I'm like, what even are you guys after? Because like
I think that's definitely
Jesus
something
would
we need to,
never, Jesus would
yeah.
never do
I
some
think
of
that's
the
something
things
that
that
we
these people
should,
do.
yeah, I feel like we should really dive into that on a whole episode.
That would be great.
Um, yeah,
But yeah, I
I'm
also think it's important to
down.
know where I'm coming from, is that like I was raised Catholic. I was raised in the Catholic Church. I'm not in the Catholic Church anymore.
Yeah. We both have very similar backgrounds.
We do. Go figure.
Yes.
But I think, and this is something that I would say if you're listening to this podcast, when you find a therapist or a life coach, they're not always required to like disclose what their religious affiliation or background or beliefs are.
Yeah.
I like to bring that conversation up kind of early.
Okay.
Um, with a new therapist or with a new um,
Like a client, a life coaching client.
no, not with a client. If I have a client and they're already on board, like
Yeah.
that's one thing. But I like to be pretty clear. I mean, like I have my handle on TikTok is like witchy life coach. Like I'm pretty clear about where I
Yeah.
stand, and I think that's important for me
Yeah.
because I don't want someone to come to me if they're like tarot cards are devil worship. Like you're not going to vibe with me as a life coach. We shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
work together. Like
Yeah.
right? But I don't think that enough people understand how big an influence someone's religious identity can sometimes have
Mm-hmm.
on their practice as a therapist or a life coach. If someone is strongly ingrained in them that like some of these more problematic beliefs, that like being like that homosexuality is a sin, that being transgender is a sin, that divorce is a sin,
Yeah.
that abortion is a sin. If you don't align with those beliefs, you are not going to receive the right kind of care to boost your
Mm-hmm.
mental health from that person.
Yeah.
Like if you're not Christian and you go to a super Christian marriage counselor, like they're gonna have opinions that's gonna steer the way
Yeah.
that your sessions go, and it might not be a right fit. So it's not always something that's
Mm-hmm.
disclosed on like their Psychology Today listing, but it bears asking some questions about if that's something that concerns you. If you're like, I am not Christian and I don't want to live my life by Christian values as they are
Yeah.
traditionally espoused, I don't want to let that be my guiding light. Um, I think it's important to ask your therapist,
Yeah.
especially if you're
I
in an
I
area that
agree.
tends to be super Christian.
Definitely.
Or like
Um,
find someone like with a like I don't know, like you've got a septum piercing. I feel like that's a pretty good indicator.
yeah. Yeah.
You can look for
Yes.
clues.
Yes. Clues are helpful. Yeah. I love any piercings or tattoos. I'm like, okay, they're probably good. Um,
Yeah.
but um, I have to hop off.
Okay.
Yes.
This is great.
Um,
This is great fun.
yes, I love this. I'm excited to start researching for the next one.
Yes. And if you have questions
So,
or topics that you want to see us cover, put it in the comments or you can
yes, please.
email. Everything is fine. I'm fine at gmail.com
Yes.
with suggestions for or questions that you have
Yeah.
for
I'll
Ask Your
send
Therapist.
you the email that you can drop in the show notes.
Hmm. All right.
Okay, awesome. Well,
Bye,
it was
everyone.
great. Bye.
We'll see you next time. I'm just, okay.